Greetings! In this video I'm going to be showing you how you can see a class talk to you during an audio and video call, giving you a few hints and tips about how you might want to manage that or organize that, and that's it. So this should be a nice short simple call, so let's get stuck directly into it. Now I'm going to rejoin the meeting that I showed you in the previous video. So we've got my 8Q history creation of Parliament, which is taking place on Monday. So I'm going into the call now. I'm going to turn off my microphone and my camera, but you do what you want to do at this point. And I'm going to press join now. And I should now be in the meeting, and if I click participants you can see it's just me, but if I had some students here at this time then they would appear down there as well. Now I've already suggested you in the previous video, which I very much hope that you've watched, that I would suggest to you that the pupils mute their microphones before they join the meeting, and of course they must have their webcams off. Now, of course, you can give pupils permissions to turn their microphones on, and as I suggested in the previous video, if you've got a class of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it might be fine for them to have their cameras on all the time. Now, because I'm in this call by myself, I can't show you this at the moment, but if I had other people in the call, you would see their symbols at the bottom. Like if we had webcams on, you'd actually see their faces. You'd have lots of little smiling faces down the bottom. Of course, if you see smiling faces, tell them to turn their cameras off. But if any of them actually talk audibly, you'll see the symbol around their face will kind of glow, so you'll be able to kind of see who's kind of talking, and if you give your pupils permission to talk, then you can do so. Now unfortunately you can't, like I said, you can mute them but you can't unmute them, but so you might want to say to the pupils, all right, who thinks they know, or something like, Jennifer, I'd like you to tell the class what you've been doing this week with your history thing. Please unmute your microphone and talk to the class. And then she would have to go to her own button, unmute. She would click there, and then you should be able to hear her and whatever ghastly background music she's got going on, and she can talk to the class, and then when she's finished you can say, thank you very much, Jennifer, please could you remute your microphone and stop listening to Justin Bieber or whatever it is. So you can verbally give them instructions about turning it off and on. If she turns her microphone on but then she won't turn it off, then remember when she's up here you can then click the ... which I haven't got because I'm on my own, but you can mute her yourself. So that might be another way of kind of stopping that. But the most important button I want to show you in this video is this one down here. If this little bar doesn't appear, move your mouse towards the bottom. It should appear for you here, and you're looking for the button that says show conversation, and it will appear in the side. And this is basically like a little chat room which is just for this particular chat. And so if you've got 18 kids here, this is where it's going to be kind of flying up. So I'm just going to say, hello, this is a test call with me, and I'm going to press enter, and there it goes, and you'll be able to see the chat flowing up. Now of course, keep your classes tightly controlled. We don't want to have a huge amounts of highs and hellos and memes and things kind of flying up. So you might want to have kind of pretty strict rules about what people can and can't say. I mean, of course, allow them to kind of do a greeting at the beginning, but then an advantage of having the audio on for you would be that you can say, right, okay, that's enough. No talking now while I'm speaking unless you have a question. So I think it's going to be good practice for us to keep quite controlled, well-behaved environment, so we don't just kind of get spammed with lots and lots of kind of useless banter, really, because you do want to be able to see when the pupils actually write you an answer to the question, or when the pupils actually have questions. And so you could have a very strict rule that the chat is just for answering questions and for asking questions, if I got that around the wrong way. But essentially that's the button that you want. If it disappears, and so you're back to participants, then again you'll need to click the show conversation button and bring it back up here. Now if, say I'm in this call here and I click back on to Teams, the meeting will go up here, and you might get some students that start typing into this bit into the channel. So this is not necessarily the meeting chat, but it's kind of like the channel chat. So it might be worth just on occasion clicking back into the team, seeing if anyone's kind of lost in the wrong place, and then kind of going back. And to get back, you just click on that bit and it kind of pops up as well. Now you might have noticed that if I go back to that particular team, that all of the statement I just said, hello, this is a test call from me, has also now appeared in that main channel in History 8Q General. Because what's quite nice is that all of those kind of conversations which take place will be saved in this particular zone, which is again is another reason to kind of keep a bit of discipline here and not kind of get huge amounts of kind of banter kind of going on, because it might be useful to have those kind of conversations saved, A, for safeguarding, and secondly, because it might be a useful record of the meeting for anyone that misses it or wants to kind of catch up. And again, when you're finished, just to complete the tutorial, again, you can kind of hang up, you can rejoin, etc., and you can and that meeting area with all the kind of the conversations there will be saved within that. There's lots more to say about kind of individual messaging and how whether you should be doing that and how it works and how you might just talk to 1 or 2 students, but I'm going to talk about that in a future tutorial. But this one, so you now know some suggestions for how you can get the pupils to kind of talk back to you audibly, and you now know how you can see what they're typing during a live meeting as well. So hope you found that useful, and I'll see you on the next tutorial.